Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the YouTube account. Got some sweet rewards in here, guys. Leaderboard over here, we ranked 92. That's right, we're picking up another 9 Stargazer Scrolls, as well as a significant amount of baits. We also do have some resource chests in here, 3,400 diamonds now. We also do have the Cursed Realm. So you can see in here, again, it scored pretty well. We got 4 of our time emblems, picked up another 11 Stargazer Scrolls, so that is 20 in total, guys. And then, of course, Nightmare Corridor, we picked up another 120 baits. This is the reason, and this is why we are pushing this game. I know it does take quite a bit to get to this level, and honestly, putting a lot into this. I'm so glad that we're there, and we're actually getting quite a bit of rewards. But today's video, we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at the other Celestial here that is going to be coming. Hopefully, we got the cards for him, so let's take a look at it. All right, guys, so here we see Gavis, as you can see, from AFK inside the Keeper of Order. Now, very interesting to the Hypogenean counterpart. It is a Mage Intelligence, which, again, we don't know if that's 100% guaranteed at this point. So we're going to have to wait and see. So remember, Liberta and Lucilla are both support heroes. Now, it appears that both of these heroes are mage heroes. So we're going to run through the skills and abilities and see what this hero is all about. Now, in addition, guys, remember, they do work in conjunction to each other. So it's going to be really cool to see that running them together, exactly how it's going to work. Now, the first one we look at is Order's Ruling, which is the ultimate ability. It has a passive ability. Now, the passive ability has 3 rules. Rebirth in violation. No damage can be dealt during Gavis. I'm gonna go with Gavis entering to the battlefield. Life cannot be unspurred. I'm assuming enemy heroes cannot harm him unprovoked. Death is in the order of chaos. The death of the enemy heroes follow a certain order. So I'm not sure if those are going to be the 3, but pretty interesting to see the rules and how I have to see exactly how that's going to kind of translate into battle. To see that the death of the enemy heroes must follow a certain order. That's really, really unique in here. And then, of course, enemy heroes cannot be harmed. Gavis unprovoked, so he's not going to be able to harm them, I believe, if he doesn't take damage from them first. So again, that's going to be interesting to see. Whenever the rules are violated, he gains X amount of energy. Each rule can trigger this effect up to X times per second. So very interesting. Now, the active ability, he invokes Order's Punishment, dealing 3 hits of damage for X amount of the attack rating to the enemy with the highest cumulative damage. Now, interesting enough, guys, this is the exact same thing that Eugene does, targeting the highest damage dealer. So both of them together is going to be very interesting to see, because if you have a high damage dealer in formation, they're just going to do an incredible amount of damage and probably kill them, is what I'm assuming. When fighting with Eugene, he'll use 3 times the additional AoE damage of Eugene's attack rating. So again, building these 2 up big are going to be huge, running them together, guys. The scales of balance sense the battlefield's order every X seconds, and Gavis' normal attack change based on the cumulative damage dealt by both sides. So again, it's going to utilize both sides. If allies are higher damage, the beam lights up. Otherwise, the Echoer beam lights up. So 2 different beams, guys. The Ochre or the Echoer normal attacks heal the weakest ally, and then the Azure Beam normal attacks deal damage to the enemy hero with the highest cumulative damage. So he has multiple ways to do this highest cumulative damage in formations, guys. Again, this is going to be interesting, especially when it comes to one single target like the boss modes. Now, of course, level 2 and level 3 just goes and ups both of those abilities. You can see X amount of damage, cumulative damage of his max health cannot exceed X amount of the attack rating. So the higher you build these heroes out, guys, the better they are going to be. Now, Rebirth is inevitable. I'm assuming it's going to be the translation issue. At the start of battle, he slowly descends from above and cannot be targeted. So very similar to what we see with Lyca at the beginning of battle. Not going to just walk in or just appear. Damage dealt by enemies and allies is reduced by X amount. So he's going to have an ability, and I'm thinking similar to like a star that does some damage mitigation in there. During the entrance, when ally heroes take damage, he receives X amount of energy up to a max. And then, of course, plus 10, plus 20, plus 30 signature item. When he enters the battlefield, the energy recovery of the enemy with the highest cumulative damage is reduced. After he enters, if an ally hero's health is lower than the counterpart, they gain a shield equal to the difference in health. And again, boss mode, the shield is going to make a big difference. No lower than X of Gavis' attack rating no higher than the attack rating. If there are no enemy counterparts or the counterpart dies, allied gains a shield anyways. Awesome. After he enters, he imposes his punishment on the enemy hero with the highest cumulative damage, causing them to lose health in 3 stages. Each stage is equal to X amount of damage the enemy has dealt, cannot be lower than X amount of the attack rating. So they're doing min-maxing on here with the hero itself. Very interesting. Life cannot be usurped. And again, translation, when an allied hero takes damage from an enemy hero other than one directly opposing them, damage is reduced. That's going to be interesting, guys, because if you're putting specific heroes opposed to other ones, you're going to have a really big damage reduction factor, especially if you have tanks, I'm thinking backline, that go frontline, or vice versa. That's going to be an interesting dynamic. Now, this, of course, is built around his furniture. Increases damage reduction by X when allied heroes take damage from an enemy other than the one opposing them, and grants energy recovery. I love that. This effect can be triggered X times every second. And then when an allied hero takes damage from an enemy hero other than the one directly opposed to them, again, it seems like it's going to be a punishment with the attack rating dealing damage. And then, of course, there is going to be each allied hero can trigger his punishment again so many times in so many seconds. And then death is order in chaos. After he enters, he determines the order based on the enemy's cumulative damage, with the highest hero as the first enemy hero that shares X amount of damage taken by allied heroes. Wow. So he's going to pick highest hero ranked as first. The first enemy hero then shares the damage taken. So it's going to be a shared damage with the biggest enemy that has done cumulative damage. Then, of course, guys, the plus 30, the plus 60 engraving. Damage shared first goes up X amount. Healing is reduced by X amount. Damage taken by the first enemy is increased, so he's going to have a damage amplification. And again, I'm thinking with this being some of the heroes in here that are, or the bosses in here, it's going to be interesting to see. And then, of course, the SP effect. When Gavis rules are first violated, he gains X Magic Pierce. So that means that we have both of these heroes, the Celestial and the Hypogenean, that are going to be Magic Pierce heroes. When the first enemy dies, all allied heroes immediately recover X amount of max health. Additionally, he recovers energy, which is crazy, guys. I know the skills are incomplete in here, but it just seems like these are 2 absolute monster heroes that they are building together. Let's go ahead and take a look, guys, at him in action. All right, guys, so this is from over on Facebook for the AFK Arena, and you can see, guys, very similar abilities, but that is him entering battle. You can see he kind of floats down slowly. 3 orbs right there, and then, of course, there are the scales, guys. 3 additional alts right there, and then the SP effect is kind of crazy. Now, one thing that I will note is between these 2 heroes, it's kind of interesting to see whose SP effect are you going to run, or are they going to have the ability to run them together? That would be kind of insanity for these heroes working together. But ultimately, there's going to be one essentially awakened hero that the SP effect is going to be much greater than the other one. But he looks really, really cool, guys. I am pretty impressed, especially with that SP effect that you have going on there. When he does his ultimate ability, it's awesome. That is absolutely probably one of the coolest ones. I know we've seen some of, I believe, the animated avatar frames at this point, but this is going to be up a little bit in the test server, which means when we can hop over to the test server and we can see their actual skills and abilities, they are concrete. Because, of course, with all the X's in there, guys, you have to take it kind of with a grain of salt, because it doesn't really show exactly what the hero is going to do or how they are going to be showcased. So a couple things to remember. One, I don't know if they're going to be a mages. That's essentially what we're assuming at this point, that it is going to be a mage hero. We know they have a really, really strong synergy together. So then it makes me think either 1, which one are we going to build out first? What is going to be the choice? And then 2, how far do you have to build them to get them to work together? We know a majority of the awakened heroes do require a very significant build out to really be super effective within there. So again, we're going to have to see exactly how it looks, guys, with these heroes and see the build. But very, very cool to see both of these put together. But guys, that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about both of the new heroes that are going to be coming. And as always, thank you guys for watching.